Wow.
What's up?
I just bought and financed a car through Carvana in minutes.
You? The person who agonized 4 weeks over whether to paint your walls eggshell or off-white bought and financed a car in minutes?
They made it easy. Transparent terms, customizable down and monthly. Didn't even have to do any paperwork.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you checked out that spreadsheet I sent you for our dinner options?
Finance your car with Carvana and experience total control. Financing subject to credit approval.
You got problems that you ought to be concerned with. Moolah! You don't know how you're supposed to earn it, or what to do with it, or how to keep it. You're a freak with a dark, shameful secret. But you're not the only one. Get your hidden financial fears with a blast of sun. Now your healing has begun. It's Bad with Money with Gabe S. Done.
Hello and welcome back to Bad with Money, a show about finances and feelings where we don't talk down to you. We're here with the bonus. Sekhar, do you want to tell my audience who you are and what you do?
I'm Sekhar. I'm a staff reporter for Watch Duty, and I help with reports and information across our coverage area, and that includes Los Angeles, where I live. I'm one of about 8 or 9 staff reporters who this is our full-time job now. We are mostly run, though, by volunteers who are outstanding at giving us their expertise and finding information and listening to things and basically making us able to do what we do, being eyes and ears in where they are. So
if you want to hear more about Watch Duty, you can end the fires and fire in general. You can go listen to our Tuesday episode with Sekhar, but this is a continuation. So I wanted to ask about the response. So once there are fires like this, what happens? Like who do they dispatch? And like I was seeing like helicopters dropping stuff, or they were dropping like pink stuff or whatever. Like what was going on to fight the fires?
So helicopters, generally you'll have helicopters that drop water, and they will pick it up and then drop it wherever is needed. You'll have tankers, which are the large planes of different sizes, dropping any number of thousands of gallons of the pink stuff, which is fire retardant. And that doesn't really stop the fire, but it can impede its progress and allow people on the ground, the firefighters, to help stop it and help slow it down. It will kind of settle into the vegetation or the area in front of where the fire is. So basically you'll see those what they call painted.
Yeah.
You'll see the big like pink area, that's a place they want to put it there and ahead of the fire. So when it gets there, it'll be slowed down a little bit. It'll be hampered. So that kind of thing, you're seeing an air attack platform, which is basically he's like the supervisor in the sky, basically coordinating all the tankers, telling them where to drop, all of the copters. And there can also be a lead copter who they call Helco, and he can coordinate all of the copters.
He's up in the sky, Helco. He's up on...
Yeah.
Wow. And so he or she or they, maybe there's a non-binary Helco, are looking at like where, okay, we should drop here, we should drop there, giving the go-ahead and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Like, okay, copter, whatever, 4 should go over to this division and work this side of it. And yeah, all of that's pretty much what it is. And on the ground, you'll have people who are in crews, multi-person, just on the ground, digging lines, cutting things up.
Digging lines,
to what they do is try to, I'm not an expert on this part, but I'll just say they'll try to create a break between the fire and then, the next thing it's going to burn, right? So they'll do that, digging, cutting up vegetation, digging into the ground, any of those things. And then, of course, there are the dozers, which will widen things out, flatten things out to also create that break. And, you'll have the people who are, the engines and all of those things, the engines with water, they're called water tenders, any number of other apparatus that will be fighting it on the ground. So there's a whole team of people in lots of different roles who are working together to fight it. So that's, a lot of stuff that's going on.
And it becomes sort of all hands on deck.
Yes, absolutely. And, one problem that can happen is if you have a bunch of fires happening at the same time, people eventually need to share, resources. So a lot of that will will be stuff like tankers and things like that, will drop one place and then somebody will have to go somewhere else. But, we have an amazing mutual aid system, and that really had got a lot of people here quickly from, out of area, out of state. I believe we had people from Mexico and also Alberta helping out. Yes, all hands on deck. Absolutely. Everybody who's around, people who are off duty, they'll call them in, to get them to help out because they need as much manpower, woman power, non-binary power, whatever you want to call it, as possible.
Yeah.
They need humans to take it on, and they need as many humans as they can get. They eventually, I believe they had thousands and thousands of personnel total on the fire. That Sunset Fire broke out. That's one that was closer to me.
Where do you live?
I live in Hollywood, about a mile south of the sign as the crow flies.
Yeah, so I'm in WeHo, and we were also monitoring that, watching the fire just burning in front of that poster of RuPaul, or the billboard of RuPaul. You know what I mean? What a time.
Yeah, people could see it from here because if you go down to Franklin over there by the 101, you can see there's a house up there right near Runyon, and so you can see it from there. But the thing is that they were able to keep that kind of within reason, or because they had so many resources already here, right? So they were able to really slam that thing and keep it from getting out of control, really. So, that was sheer force, really, the amount of humans they had to throw at it. Because that could have been really bad, but, fortunately things worked out to where it could have been a lot worse, however, as far as people being affected and homes and all those things. So,
you guys know that I take testosterone, and that causes your hair to thin, and my hair is thinning. And I want it to thin to a certain degree, but I don't need it to thin as much as it may end up thinning. So what can I do about that? And as you guys know, I have known about Nutrafol for a while, and I have been taking it. They were kind enough to send me some samples a few weeks ago, and I have seen decreased shedding. My hair sheds so much in the shower, and that always freaked me out, made me feel really self-conscious, just would always think, is this too much hair? And after taking Nutrafol, I have noticed decreased shedding. This year, there is nothing holding you back from loving your hair again. Hair is so much more than what you see on the surface. It's a reflection of what's happening inside, such as my testosterone. Let Nutrafol target the key root causes of your thinning hair and help you grow stronger, healthier strands from within. Hair thinning is very common, okay? And it's very frustrating that it's kind of a new thing that's going on for me as I transition. And I need all the help I can get, especially because the shedding is so freaky. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. I cannot wait to get to the 3-month mark if it's already helping now. Physician formulated with 100% drug-free ingredients, Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by targeting key root causes of thinning, okay? So they are stress, hormones, aging, nutrition, lifestyle, metabolism, through whole body health. Building a hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription required. Automated deliveries and free shipping keep you on track. Plus, with the Nutrafol subscription, you can save up to 20%. You'll have access to free naturopathic doctor consults, and a Headspace meditation membership is included. While many supplements rely solely on ingredient studies, Nutrafol clinically tests final formulations to ensure their efficacy. In a clinical study, 72% of men saw more scalp coverage after taking Nutrafol Men Hair Growth Supplement for 6 months, and 86% of women saw improved hair growth after taking Nutrafol Women Hair Growth Supplements for 6 months. Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code BWM. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BWM. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code BWM. I was looking for a day job. As you guys know from listening to this show, making money consistently is really important, and it's really scary when it's not happening. And so I was looking for a job And I was looking all over. I was going to places. I was trying to do that old school thing of maybe you just leave a resume at the smoothie shop. I don't know. But I found my job so easily using Indeed. And I actually recommended Indeed to other people to use when they come in and they say, oh, how can I work here? I say, I actually found the job on Indeed. So go look at Indeed, because that is literally how I found my job and applied and got hired. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job posts seen on other job sites. Indeed's sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach people you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it matched me to the right job. It showed me exactly the types of jobs I was looking for. I was able to parse through. I was able to see the locations. I was able to see the requirements. I was able to apply. I don't know how I would have done it without Indeed, truly. And it obviously allowed this business to find the right people, aka me. With Indeed sponsored jobs, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts, and you only pay for results. How fast is Indeed? In the minute I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. There is no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/badwithmoney. Just go to Indeed.com/badwithmoney right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/badwithmoney. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed is all you need.
What is... Dax, are you?
Tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker on all our devices? Yes, Kristen, yes, I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for...
In Dax's domain, we see all. So we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.
I have two friends who are married, and one of them's a firefighter and the other one's an EMT. And so we were in a group chat and they were giving us like the rundown on everything. I wanted to ask, have you ever spoken to or covered in general the incarcerated firefighters?
That isn't something we've covered at Watch Duty, though. It is something like, that we're aware of, and we know that the history and the issues that have been going on with that. So we know that they're out there, but that isn't something we cover, really as an issue. And as a reporter, if I were doing this independent of that, then obviously, yeah, that's one of the things I would, we had other fires. I have other fires that I've covered. And, I know that in some places there was a shortage. This may have been during COVID. I don't remember exactly, but they didn't have enough inmate firefighters to kind of help with things. And I don't remember I think that might have been during COVID. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, because I was seeing like a conflicting thing where, it's interesting how the fires bring up other issues too. Like bringing up that people may not have known about that, or that, then we get to hear from these people who otherwise wouldn't get to hear from, some of them saying, we like this job. Others being like, I totally understand why this is fucked up. All these people learning in real time about, wait a minute, what do you mean they're not allowed to be firefighters when they get out of prison? That's like, so it does bring up visibility in a way now in 2025, because I don't know how they covered this stuff before, but it's all on social media. Videos there, you're seeing it. It's all on the news. And then if you miss it on the news, the clip is on social media. Like it's all, I feel like we are able to get now this view of all of this as very holistic. It's a holistic problem. It's climate change. It's racism. It's, it's like everything kind of compounded together to create the worst possible situations.
Yes. It isn't just one thing, right? And yeah, you have things that unfortunately came together to be awful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think a lot of people are aware of what happens with the inmate firefighters, but I know some people have done some reporting on it.
It's just interesting because you talk about, I think sometimes people talk about these disasters as if they kind of came out of nowhere, like COVID. Whoa, that was crazy. And it's like, yes, but years before that, they sort of gutted the disease control and like didn't give a lot of money to these. Like there doesn't seem to be a lot of foresight.
Well, when you think something's not going to happen,
The thing is,
or some
okay,
people don't.
yes, but there are people that know better, like all of you guys writing or working at Watch Duty before now. You're aware that this could be a thing. You're aware that
Sure, yeah.
it's just kind of this idea that people say, oh, nobody could have seen this coming. And it's like, plenty of people could have seen this coming.
I think that could be true to an extent, but I don't think anybody expected these severe wind events to happen, especially in January, because it's not normal here. And a lot of us who have lived here quite a long time, I believe, would tell you the same thing. Yeah, I mean, you should be prepared in some way to understand that these things could happen. But I think the fact that we had a bunch of red flag events, that were labeled particularly dangerous, like to have one is unusual enough, but to have like multiple periods of time when that's happening is very, very unusual. Now, one caveat to that is they've only been using the PDS term, particularly dangerous situation, for fires in the last few years. So, it used to be just tornado stuff, but now they use it, let people know not only are there critical conditions that can make a fire spread rapidly and behave in an extreme way, here are some other factors that make this time period particularly dangerous, is what they call it. So that's something relatively new in the fire weather area. So
Why did they add that?
I think it's just, to express to people the severity and the seriousness of conditions that we experience now.
Have you or someone you know been a victim of identity theft, harassed, stalked, doxxed? Privacy matters, especially to someone like me who has a bit of a public persona, but it also matters to my listeners because this kind of thing can happen to anyone. Do you ever wonder how much of your personal data is out there on the internet for anyone to see? More than you think. Your name, your contact info, your social security number, your home address, even information about your family members, all compiled by data brokers and sold online. Data brokers make a profit off your data, and your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, harassment, and unwanted spam calls. But you can now protect your privacy with Delete Me. I share a lot of my life online, so I am hyper aware of my safety and security. It's easier than ever before to find personal information about people online, and all of this data is just hanging out on the web, but it can have actual consequences in the real world. I have used Delete Me. I had an instance where some stuff was going on Reddit. I don't want to draw more attention to it, but I used Delete Me because a friend of mine who's a sex worker actually told me about it. And it's something that a lot of women online use in order to keep their information safe from stalkers and harassers. The solution that we used is called Delete Me. It is a subscription service that removes your personal info from hundreds of data brokers. I have actually used this. I used this years ago, and so that's why I'm choosing to personally endorse it. If you sign up and provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted, their experts take it from there. Delete Me sends you regular, personalized privacy reports showing what info they found, where they found it, and what they removed. Delete Me isn't just a one-time service. It is always working for you, constantly monitoring and removing the personal information you don't want on the internet. To put it simply, Delete Me does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal information from data broker websites. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me, now at a special discount for my listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting BAD MONEY to 64000. Text BAD MONEY to 64000. That's BAD MONEY, all one word, to 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. Investing can sometimes feel overwhelming with all the fancy jargon that makes it seem more complicated than it really is. Maybe all those finance bros that just want another thing they can try and quote unquote mansplain. And yes, I am a trans guy and I can mansplain, but I also have the experience of being mansplained too. And especially about money. I talk about on this show all the time how people pitch themselves to the show and they feel like they can make investing this big scary thing that, is this gatekept knowledge. So for a long time, I felt like I couldn't really do it, or that I didn't have the knowledge to do it, or that it was like too big of a scary task. And Acorns believes that anyone can be an investor. That's why they make it easy to stick to basic, time-tested principles that give your money a chance to grow. One of the things that happened was that I truly thought that I could not manage my own investments, or that I couldn't manage my own retirement fund. I couldn't manage my own personal investments. I was very scared. It took me a long time to stop paying someone else to do it and to feel confident that I could do it. And I think maybe what would have helped is being able to invest in smaller ways before I was like thrust into big time investing. And you don't even need to do big time investing. I just literally have my retirement and then the amount that I am comfortable with. And Acorns is a perfect way to do that little amount that you're comfortable with. Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. Acorns is a financial wellness app that makes it easy to start saving and investing for your future. You don't need to be an expert. Acorns will recommend a diversified portfolio that matches you and your money goals. You don't need to be rich. Acorns lets you get started with the spare money you've got right now, even if all you've got is spare change. You don't need to feel like financial wellness is impossible. Acorns gives you small, simple steps to get you and your money on track. Any little bit of money you put in the market right now will eventually grow. That's just the way it works. I know there are huge dips and it can be really scary, but a lot of it is just about patience and starting. Sign up now and join the over 13 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $22 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/badmoney or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 1 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/badmoney. My final question is, if people are like, what do I pack or what do I put in my, like, what do you recommend so that people are not panicking in the last minute? Like, what do you recommend people have?
I'm trying to remember, but I believe it's something like people, pets, pictures. I can't remember. It's like the 6 Ps. Basically, any law enforcement agency or fire agency will have information on this. Paperwork is another one of them. Right. Paperwork. You want to have, things like water, non-perishable items. I've heard people say cash, your gas tank filled, or at least half filled, those kind of things. If people go to this website, it's called readyforwildfire.org. That's something that's put out and has all of this kind of information. I believe it's through the state, CAL FIRE. And that's a really good resource if people want to learn about that.
Readyforwildfire.org I love how straightforward that is.
Yeah.
They were like, we got to get this URL. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find you and more about you and Watch Duty and your work?
I'm on Twitter at Barkflight, BARKFLIGHT. Then I'm also on Watch Duty doing reports when things happen. There's about 40 of us who post and issue reports in the app. So, but basically, Twitter's been my thing for quite a long time, and that's where I post things. Although, honestly, 80% of the stuff I post now is just a Watch Duty link to the incident, right? Like, you're going to get the same information there anyway. So
you're like, this is what the people need to know.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And that's such wonderful work that you guys all do. And I had to have someone from Watch Duty on just because it was such an amazing resource and such a needed time. So
yeah, no problem at all.
Bad with Money with Gabriel S. Dunn is a production of Noted Bisexual, produced by Melisa D. Monts and Diamond MPrint Productions. Edited by Diane Kang, post-production sound by Coco Llorens, production assistance by Melanie D. Watson, and music by Mike Kaplan, Zach Sherwin, and Jack Dolgen, sung by Sam Barbera. Thank you, love you, bye!
Wow.
What's up?
I just bought and financed a car through Carvana in minutes.
You? The person who agonized 4 weeks over whether to paint your walls eggshell or off-white bought and financed a car in minutes.
They made it easy. Transparent terms, customizable down and monthly. Didn't even have to do any paperwork.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, have you checked out that spreadsheet I sent you for our dinner options?
Finance your car with Carvana and experience total control. Financing subject to credit approval.